Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Far East Fash Report. We are recording here February 15th, 2006. Our top story coming from Japan, Real Boyfriend Rental Service offers dates with more realistic types of men. While pseudo-boyfriends have been bringing smiles and even tears to the faces of Tokyo ladies in recent years, there has always seemed to be an air of inauthenticity to their service, with general ages tending towards the lower age of the spectrum and the ikemen hottie level turned up to a host club 11. Now a service in Nagoya is offering a more realistic cast of boyfriends, with reasonable good looks and ages ranging from 19 years of age all the way up to 57. Renting boyfriends because you can't get a boyfriend of your own. Oh, Japan, what's happening to you? Our next story from North Korea. North Korea floats poop-filled balloons into South Korea. Apparently in their recent exchange of propaganda and apparently even missiles, the North Korean produced timers frequently fail to pop the helium balloons as they float over into South Korean airspace. As a result, government officials in South Korea came across sealed bags which they feared contained biological weapons. After investigating the contents, their fears were allayed, although their noses were puckered. Among the materials found in the balloons were propaganda leaflets, the majority of which attacked the K-pop music barrage and the president of South Korea. Also in the bundles were cigarette butts, human feces, and used toilet paper. War is clearly a filthy business in the Korean peninsula. Poop-filled balloons. Nice one, North Korea. Our next three stories coming from India. Always a source of fun and amusement. Diwali, also known as the Festival of Lights, is the largest celebration in Hinduism. In the weeks leading up to the event, villagers in Betul begin collecting cow poop from the roughly 600 cows that reside in the surrounding area. All this dung is piled up in a location at the center of town. On the day after the festival, parents take their children and dip and roll their offspring in the feces, all the while drums and fireworks roar in the background. There are a number of beliefs behind this activity. First, cows are among the most sacred animals in Hinduism, and anything that brings a person closer to a cow is viewed in a favorable light. Second, Hindu preachers claim that both cow pee and cow poop have curative properties. Third, adherents believe that the ritual honors their ancestors, who also participate in the cow dung dipping, and that this will bestow good luck unto the children as they grow up. The ceremony lasts from sunrise to sunset, with villagers waiting their turn to dunk their children. Youth ranging from 6 months to 9 years old experience this smelly tradition. Older children are tossed into the pile of feces, while infants are gently laid in the dung. India, that's really nasty. Next, part 2 to that story. Amazon and eBay, in addition to the other online shopping sites in India, have been unable to keep up with the demand in India for this unusual item: cow poop. They are selling out of cow dung. The largest orders began rolling in during the Diwali festival season, which is considered to be, as we said before, the most significant religious festival in Hinduism. So Amazon is all sold out of cow poop. That's a sad story. Our third and final story from India. Situation occurred last week when a 25-year-old man grabbed a 3-foot-long golden chain off the neck of a woman on the street. Officers saw the crime happen and began chasing the man. While being pursued, he swallowed the chain, hoping to conceal his crime. Moments later, he was caught by the police. After denying he was guilty, officers took him to the hospital for x-rays, which revealed the chain in his stomach. After administering 2 enemas without success, doctors suggested surgery to retrieve the stolen jewelry. After learning the surgery would cost over $500, police officers changed tactics and went to a local market. They purchased 48 bananas, which they proceed to feed to the criminal throughout the day. According to the senior inspector, after consuming all the bananas, the perpetrator passed the necklace. Authorities made him retrieve the necklace from the toilet and had to clean and disinfect it himself before returning it to the rightful owner. The thief faces up to 3 months in jail. A lot of poop-related stories from India. Next, Indonesia. More than 24 Indonesians have died after drinking bootleg alcohol in central Java, police said on Monday. Investigators said a majority of the victims died after purchasing homemade liquor from a couple in Sleman, a town north of Yogyakarta City, local police said. Most of the victims were students, police chief said. The first death occurred last Wednesday, with more fatalities reported soon after. The police have arrested the couple who sold the concoction of ethanol, water, and fruit that is believed to have caused 22 deaths. 4 other people were also killed by bootleg liquor sold by another vendor who has also been arrested. The funny thing is, in Indonesia, alcohol is not produced there generally, but it is available in the major cities. In fact, one of the better beers from Southeast Asia, Bintang, comes from Indonesia, because no one knows how to make a beer like the Muslims. Our next story, in Cambodia, 2 opposition lawmakers with names that I will never be able to pronounce, so I'll skip over them, were beaten unconscious during protests in Phnom Penh, as over 1,000 protesters descended upon the National Assembly. There is video available if you want to see that. Taiwan. The campaign to elect Taiwan's new president saw her appearing as a cute character in a number of anime videos, along with her cats. Tsai Ing-wen made international headlines on the weekend when it was announced that she had won the Taiwanese presidential election, making her the first female president of Taiwan. She's also the first person of Aboriginal Taiwanese descent to hold the high-ranking position, and apparently also the first to be moified in cute anime form. Okay, Taiwan. Another Taiwan story. McDonald's Taiwan is well known for its annual cosplaying antics. Since 2003, we've seen staff at Taiwanese locations of McDonald's dressing as maids, cheerleaders, even cat ear-wearing high school girls, in what has become something of a New Year's tradition for Taiwan. This time around, a branch in the southwestern city of Tainan has come under fire for allowing its staff to dress up in what appear to be Taiwanese National Army and Navy uniforms. The stunt was not well received by actual members of the military, and there is talk of the Taiwanese authorities taking legal action against McDonald's for allowing its staff, none of whom are believed to be in active service, to don the uniforms. This act is punishable by Taiwanese law with fines up to $500. All right, stick to high school girls there, guys. Mainland China, Hong Kong, excuse me. Over 90 people have been injured and 61 arrested following clashes in Hong Kong's Mong Kok district, police say. Violence erupted overnight as police cleared illegal food stalls set up on a busy junction for Lunar New Year celebrations. Angry protesters threw bricks and bottles at police, while police used batons and pepper spray and fired 2 warning shots into the air. Police say dozens of officers and 4 journalists were among those hurt. 9 women and 52 men have been arrested, all aged between 15 and 70. They are suspected of offenses including unlawful assembly, assaulting police, and possession of offensive weapons. Pictures from the scene showed protesters setting fire to garbage bins and throwing bottles and rubbish at police. That is some dim sum to die for. Editorial note, I think what's starting to happen here is Communist China is starting to bring in a more authoritarian policing technique, and the more free-for-all libertarian honkies are not adjusting to this very well. Still fighting over food, man, that's crazy. Our last 2 stories come from Japan again. Japan tells UN it has found no evidence of forced World War II sex slavery. This topic again, Christ. Okay, Japan says it has found no evidence its World War II government and military forcibly rounded up women to be sex slaves. Tokyo has told the UN committee the latest pronounced in a corrosive row of interpretations of history. A confirmation Tuesday ahead of a conference on women later this month is likely to renew anger among the dwindling numbers of surviving former comfort women who say the country has never taken full responsibility for what it did in wartime. Having said that, Tokyo has offered repeated apologies over the issue over the years and says that while there was military involvement in the establishment of comfort stations, there is no evidence its officials were involved in the abduction of women for the purpose. Japanese authorities say that they actually recruited professional prostitutes for that purpose. Under the late December deal, Japan offered an apology and a 1 billion yen, that's 8.5 million US dollars, payment to the surviving South Korean women. Our last and final story, ending on a more upbeat note, karate's long fight to make the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. Tokyo's winning bid to host the 2020 Games has sparked renewed efforts to include karate as an Olympic sport for the first time ever in the country of its origin. However, this time the endeavor will aim to promote both a traditional style of karate with softer techniques, as well as the hard technique Kyokushin style. The two styles will try to advance together in the hopes of making the Olympic cut. If their joint effort succeeds, they will become two separate Olympic disciplines, similar to how both freestyle and Greco-Roman wrestling are included in the official roster. Yes, I believe the hosting country is allowed to add one sport. When the Olympics were in Seoul, Taekwondo became an Olympic sport. Karate, despite its international popularity, has never become an Olympic sport. This is something this reporter would personally like to see. Well, everyone, that covers it for now. We're going to wrap up our second installment of the Far East Fash Report. Thank you. Over and out.